How should you build the hidden potential for the Year 8 EZAs? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are taking a look at the Year 8 Spirit Bomb Duo EZAs. That is the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and of course the GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, the Year 8 LRs. Now, normally we don't do hidden potential guides for EZA units because we actually already have potential guides up for these, and it's not very often that changes. However, with this duo specifically, because the way the change in their design and what they've given them, it has necessitated a change in my guide. So we are updating that. It did take us a while because I needed more testing to be sure. I wanted to solidify that change. So here we are. So we're actually going to start by taking a look at the Z Duo, because I know that's the one that everybody's like really looking at, because they changed them. They didn't change them a lot, but they gave them things that they didn't have before that really helped them. So first off, let's note that they are massively raising defense on both their 18 and 12 key, with no attack raise, of course, but that would make their spear bomb broken if it did. But nonetheless, right, 18 key and 12 key stacking very good, right? So you already know which direction we're going with that hypo, right? They also have attack defense 300%, guard all attack, and when HP is 50% or more, attack and defense 100%. As the first attack in turn, they get an additional key 1 per key sphere obtained, and damage reduction rate 50%, high chance of evading enemy's attack when receiving a super attack. As a second or third attacker in the turn, they receive an additional key 2 per key sphere obtained, and damage reduction rate 60% once only. When receiving an attack, they get a permanent defense 50% once only. When attacking with 12 or more key, they get 150% attack, and when attacking with 18 or more key, they launch an additional super attack. When with 24 or more key, they get an additional super attack, and once only an additional super attack, right? So they're always finding ways to build themselves up there. With all of those extra supers. And then for every super attack performed, they get key 2 and chance of performing a critical hit up to 100%. Then with their standby, right, and this is where things really shifted for them, right? With their standby, they are unable to attack. They get defense 500%, and for 4 turns, guard all attacks and randomly change key spheres of certain type to rainbow key spheres. Starting for the 5th turn, they change all key spheres to fizz and rainbow, and for every key sphere obtained, damage reduction rate 11% up to 100%. Once only with 7 or more key spheres obtained, infinite. This can happen infinitely. Performs a critical hit and attacks 77%. The more when they get 7 or more key spheres, they get a permanent attack 77% and critical hit. And then when you activate their finished skill, you get 888% attack. And of course, for every charge you get, they get 20% attack, assuming you get a full charge with 39 or more counts, which is very easy to do now. You get 20% attack per. So you can see they made a lot of changes from their original kit here, right? Giving them crit in places where they didn't have previously, and that really does help them out in terms of their build, right? Because now, right, previously you had wanted to invest a little bit in critical hit, but now, since they are a Fizz type, you can actually invest somewhere where it's much better, which is combo attack. As a Fizz type, they get 20. They can get a maximum of 20, which gives them a 40%. The more, and then obviously with your attack with your special equipment, you can get them up to 30, which would give you an additional 60% chance to launch an additional super attack, which is very good for them. Now, with that said, this is how I recommend you build them. Full additionals, like I said, max 20, right, through their hidden potential if you've got the dupes in them. And then the sub, you can go either critical hit or dodge. It really doesn't matter. Critical hit is absolutely unnecessary for either of their forms. They are now given critical hits in their standby, which they didn't have prior, guaranteed critical hit, and they also build up to 100% crit instead of 50% crit. So honestly, the crit's not necessary, but then again, neither is dodge. On their second appearance, they have 4 million defense with plus their damage reduction. By their third appearance, they're untouchable. By the third turn that they're on, they are literally untouchable. Give them 3 or 4 turns of stacking, and they're able to tank Vegito. Like that's how fast they stack. Plus, while in standby, they're literally invincible. So dodge isn't all that necessary either. So you can go either one, to be honest, whichever you prefer for the sub. I went critical hit on mine. Now, as far as the special equipment goes, this is where the big change occurs for them, right? See, previously I had recommended using their special equips, which they get, well, they didn't get during the 8th anniversary, but they did get them in the 9th anniversary. And the special equips I had recommended previously for them were, of course, high defensive equips and critical hit equips. And I do not recommend that anymore. And I do not recommend the high defense equips anymore either. Even though they do greatly benefit it due to their stacking, I actually recommend a build like this with high offensive equips. And specifically in either attack or super attack boost, as these two things boost the power of the Spirit Bomb. Raw attack boosts it, but so does super attack boost. So whichever one you have, right, for like the attack ones you see here are just placeholders. I know not everybody's going to have the perfect equips from the Whis event, but as long as you can give them attack equips or super attack boost equips here in their gold and silver slots, they are going to benefit a lot from that, right? Because if you're using these guys, you want to maximize their Spirit Bomb, and the attack equips do exactly that. So that is my recommended build for the Z Spirit Bomb duo. So now let's take a look at the STR Spirit Bomb duo, the GT duo. They, instead of raising defense, are raising attack on their 18 key by 70%, and defense for 4 turns, and on their 12 key greatly raise, which is a 50% raise, and defense for 1 turn. Their basic effects include attack and defense 300%, guard all attacks. When 50% or more, they get attack and defense 100%. As the first attacker in the turn, they receive an additional key 1 per key sphere obtained. Damage reduction rate and chance for 1 critical hit 30%. Now, as the second or third attacker in the turn, they receive an additional key 2 per key sphere obtained. And damage reduction rate and chance for 1 critical hit 40%, along with an additional 50% chance of damage reduction rate 30% when when receiving a super attack. When receiving an attack, they do get 50% defense permanently, once only, of course. When attacking with 12 or more key, they get attack 150%, and launch an additional super attack with 18 or more key. When attacking with 24 key, they launch an additional super attack, and once only another additional super attack, just like the Z duo. For every super attack performed, they get key 2 and damage reduction rate and chance for a critical hit 10% up to 50. Yeah, so they only get 50 critical. I don't know why they put their critical hit with the combined with the damage reduction, right? So they can only get up to 50% damage reduction, and they can only get up to 50% critical hit. Once in standby, which can be activated after they've been hit 5 times, they can go into their standby, and their standby acts as a revive counter, right? So the Vegeta, while in the standby, does have a super attack effect, massively raises attack for 1 turn, greatly raises defense for 4 turns, and raises allies' attack by 40% for 4 turns. He massively raises attack for 1 turn on his 12 key, and greatly raises defense for 4 turns on his 12 key. Now, while in standby, they get 300% attack, all allies key 11, and attack 110%, and attacks effective against all types. Launches an additional super attack, and when HP is 50% or more, defense 150%, and once only, he can revive with fully recovered HP when the character is KO'd. When attacking, 50% attack, which includes the finish effect, and when the finish effect is activated, 100% attack. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but remember they are stacking attack, so all of that does carry over into what they're doing there. So you'll notice there is a very large lack of something extremely important to their kit here, and that is critical hit. So because their kit does in the standby lacks critical hit, right? I do recommend going full crit on them. Now, because they are an STR unit, you can get a max of 20, right? Through the hidden potential nodes. And then of course you can get more up to 60 if you use your special equips to increase him to 30. So I do recommend the critical hit build because, right, you want to make the most of their spirit bomb. Their spirit bomb is powerful, especially built up, so you do want that critical hit. Nothing's worse than activating a finish skill and not getting that critical hit, so I do recommend going full crit for them. You can go sub additional or sub dodge for either one of them. Their defense isn't the greatest, so sub dodge can help, but it's only 6. It's not that much, but you're not getting that much out of the additionals either, since they do perform a lot of additionals. It's really up to you whichever you feel would benefit the most, but I do recommend full crits on the investment there. Now, as far as their special equips goes, I do recommend just maintaining their anniversary equips, because their anniversary equips give them a critical hit. If you're lucky and you're one of those people who can get the special equipments, right, from the Whis event that can give you critical hits and attack, then I do recommend going with that as they'll benefit from both the attack and the critical hit. But obviously I know that those are not easy to come by for every player, so take that for what you will. If you can get them, great, use them. If not, hold them until you can, right? So that is pretty much it. So once again, just to recap for the Z Duo, full additionals, sub crit or sub dodge, neither one is too particularly useful for them, but you can't it's really up to you for the sub, but just make sure you go full additionals and maximize their offensive output by utilizing attack equips. For the GT Duo, opposite, you want to go full crit, sub dodge, or sub additionals. And for their special equipment, obviously maxing attack, but for them, they'll do just fine with their anniversary equips. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, how did you build your LR EZA GT Duo and Z Spirit Bomb Duo? Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.